Welcome to Relationship Matters. It is my pleasure to share with you some intricate ideas and concepts so that your marriages can be strengthened and that you can enjoy your relationship. At this time, I want to talk to you about mastering the secrets of a happy marriage. Mastering the secrets of a happy marriage. And I want to comment by indicating, ladies and gentlemen, that every maker, every manufacturer holds the keys to assessing the maximum satisfaction from their product. Every manufacturer. And in order to obtain maximum satisfaction from the product, the manufacturer creates what is called a manual. And this manual is designed to illustrate the appropriate way to use the product so you will obtain most utility from that product. I want to say to you, husbands and wives, that there is no shortcut for us in obtaining a happy marriage. Many persons have tried many shortcut methods and ways and strategies and with an intent to arrive at a happy marriage. We are willing to take advice, some of us, from those who seem to have what is considered to be a magic wand, because we do not want to make the effort. We don't want to make the effort and invest in our marriages. So today I want to tell you that every married couple owe it to themselves to invest themselves and time into their marriages so that they can have a happy marriage. Very important that we bear that in mind. A happy marriage requires effort. A happy marriage requires effort. It requires knowledge, and it requires understanding, and it requires wisdom. And I want to point out that some happiness that uses shortcut methods are always short-lived and operate from event to event, on special day to special day. And some persons are only happy when they have their birthday, anniversary, or some special date. But it is God's desire that we all should experience the splendor and the beauty of a happy marriage. And so I want to share with you some secrets, some secrets of mastering your marriage and to make it a happy one. Now, I want to go back to the point that when a manufacturer makes his or her product, yes, they create a manual, and the manual sets out the original principles. Yes, the first set of principles that will guide the usage of the product. Yes. Therefore, when God created marriage, He also created a manual for marriage. And many of us have allowed this to slip us by. There is a manual that God has designed. He is the institutor, the author, the creator of marriages. And therefore, being the creator, he wanted to make sure that we are able to exercise love and happiness in marriages. So he gave us some rules, some rules and laws that should help us to have a happy marriage. He laid down these laws for marriage to help us, yes? And the fact is that many of us, many persons, many couples, many individuals have broken those laws, and yet they still want to have a happy marriage. They have broken the laws that the maker of marriage has created. And therefore, because we're having people not following the laws created that governs marriage, our society is what it is today. It is filled with disintegration. It is filled with murders. It is filled with suicides, spousal abuse, disintegration of the family unit, divorce, and many more situations are plaguing the family, and it is also plaguing our marriages. Allow me then to share these laws with you. And I want to say, in the Bible, yes, the scripture, God gave us the laws to govern. In the scripture, God gave us some laws to govern marriages. And if we go to the scripture in Genesis chapter 2, verse 24, we'll find this statement. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. I'd like to repeat that because it's important. Genesis chapter 2, verse 24 says, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Within this verse of scripture lies three very important laws that Jehovah has given to us. Within this very scripture, three important laws to govern our marriages, so that we, if followed, every marriage will be a happy one. Law number one is the law of separation. In the verse, if you look at it keenly, it says, therefore shall a man leave. Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother. When marriage suggests that you are leaving your father and your mother, and you are creating a new family unit, you cannot be an independent or interdependent family unit and still be under the control of your mother and father. So the first law is that we must separate. And by separation, the law of separation says the individuals, the members who are going to enter into this marital situation must set up an independent homestead, establish themselves as a family unit, separating themselves from their in-laws, from the interference of their mothers and fathers, aunties and uncles. They must separate themselves. Now, I want to point out that parents are not always, and for the most part, not willing to let their children go. And that is why God says you must leave. You must deliberately leave with an intention to set up an independent unit and must be committed to that unit. So one of the things is that when people get married, when they got married, they are not as committed to their unit, family unit, as they should. So the scripture said you must be separated. You must be separated. Every other individuals must be set aside, and your unit must be the primary unit. It must be your top priority. Husbands and wives, they must be top priority to each other. And when there is offspring, the children also become top priority. Nothing should be before the family. Even in creation, God ensured the very first institution that was made was marriage. Secondly, the law of pursuance. The law of pursuance. There must be a constant work of the husband and the wife to work in harmony and in unity. Remember, the text says, you shall leave your father and your mother. And the second part, it says, you shall cleave. So, cleaving here suggests that you must pursue each other daily. Pursue a unified life daily. I must give attention to my wife must give attention to me. It's a constant pursuance, constant cleaving. The word cleave means to apply a glue. So we must constantly apply the glues that is going to hold us stronger and closer to each other. We must work to cling. We must work to cling together, to be interested in each other, to be interested in what each person is doing. And therefore, when this pursuance is taking place, you are now discovering the beauty of your marriage. So you pursue, just as how you would have pursued her when you wanted to find a partner. You would go and you will look for her, you'll buy her things, you will find out what she likes and find out the place she'd like to go, and you'll shower her with lovely words and lovely gifts and be nice to her. I mean, you are seeking to win her over. That's the same thing. That must never stop after the wedding. You must continue to pursue her throughout your lifetime. The man must pursue his partner, and the wife must pursue her husband. So the law of pursuance, God says you must cleave. You must be knitted together as a glue, and nothing you should allow to sever you. Here is what God says: what he has joined together, no man should put asunder. The third law of marriage, in the very same verse, says, and they shall be one flesh. So the third law is the law of one flesh. Your law of unity, the law of one flesh. Whenever a couple comes together, get married, and they're married, there's what is considered to be consummation. Consummation is the act of bringing both party into a fusion, into connection. It is binding. It's like when you are making kneading flour, yes, and you're putting the water into the flour and you're kneading it, and it is coming. More you work it, is the more it is combined, become one flesh. Two become one. Too many of us want to be married and still be separate, to be married and to be independent. Marriage indicates and requires one to be in fusion with his or her partner. So there must be a fusion of the mind, a fusion of the body, and a fusion of the spirit. And when these three things take place, then you have what is considered, you are satisfying that law of one flesh. The Bible tells us that when you become married, your wife is like your own body. Your wife or your husband is like your own body, because the two should always become one. So we look out for each other. So what I don't like for myself, I will not seek to do it to my partner. That is something that you must constantly work on. No level of selfishness can help in this one flesh policy. Yes, there is a commonness, a sense of commonness and common interest that lies within it. And so, therefore, bonding takes place. And bonding takes place through your sexual intimacy, through your worshiping together, through your sharing with each other. Yes? And that is what Jehovah designs for us to have. A marriage that is happy, a marriage that has oneness. So, the three laws that must be always pursued: the law of separation. You must leave others, leave auntie, uncle, your former friends, leave. It's very important to leave past relationships, leave um, mother and father, leave, the act of leaving. And by leaving, one is indicating clear indication of desire to go another direction. And so the second law is pursuance, a law to cleave. So you leave and then you cleave, always seeking to pursue the betterment and the best for your partner, seeking to satisfy your partner. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for hearing me. And if you like this video, please click below. And of course, you can as well click the subscribe button, because that will indicate when I am going to be posting a new video. Thank you very much. I wish you to have a very happy marriage. Master these three laws that God has given to us, and you will live happily ever after.